Good morning and welcome to another great edition of Wealth Building Wednesday. Wealth Building Wednesday broadcasts every single Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, and then the audio is rebroadcast on our media partner WBFZ 105.3 FM right here covering the entire Black Belt of Alabama. So again, welcome to Wealth Building Wednesday. Wealth Building Wednesday is a broadcast sponsored by TRHT Selma. TRHT stands for Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation. We are an organization, an initiative that is comprised of two very powerful nonprofit organizations, powerful in the sense that they are both on the ground working in the community to change things for the better. And those organizations are the Black Belt Community Foundation and the Selma Center for Nonviolence. We're excited about Wealth Building Wednesday as it adds so much to the information streams that we have. Most of the resources that we talk about are absolutely free of charge. Those that aren't free of charge have great benefits, including what we'll be talking about today on Wealth Building Wednesday. I am truly honored to have a guest. This is her first time as a guest on Wealth Building Wednesday, but she is such a resource to our community. So I do want to take the time to welcome Mrs. Sheryl Smedley to the show. Good morning, Mrs. Smedley.
Good morning, Lydia. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And for those of you all to whom Mrs. Smedley is a new face, she is the executive director of the Selma-Dallas County Chamber of Commerce. So now she shouldn't be a new face. You've seen her in the Selma magazine. You've seen her on the front page of the Selma Sun and the Selma Times Journal. You've seen her on the news. So she may not be a new face, but we'll get to know her and what she does in a much different way today because we're going to talk all things Chamber of Commerce. So again, thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. So now, for those of us who may be new to this information, what exactly is a Chamber of Commerce and why do communities have them?
Well, a lot of people think that the Chamber of Commerce is a municipality, but we're not. We are a 501c6 organization, and we're a membership organization. And we are governed by a board of directors, and the directors are people that are members of the Chamber of Commerce. And what is a chamber, and what do we do? It's the most accurate place with trusted resources that we give to people that are looking to come to Selma or your community and to live and do business. And we also get engaged throughout our community. So that's how we stay tuned. I stay tuned into what's going on. I try to, listen in on meetings and participate in civic organizations and community boards as well.
Absolutely. And so, like I said, Miss Smedley should not be a new face because you'll see her everywhere. Showing up in public spaces and in meetings related to business, and some that are not always related to business, but where business can play a role. I do want to thank you for all of the work that you're doing and for showing up for our community in such a great way. So now, what benefits does a Chamber of Commerce provide? Like for our chamber, what benefits do you all provide for small businesses?
Well, we have partnerships. And so one of our partnerships is with Troy University. If you're a chamber member, you get a discount on your tuition and your application fee is waived. And they also have a scholarship program that you're eligible for as well. We work with the University of Alabama Small Business Network Center. We work with the Small Business Administration. We work with University of West Alabama. And we work with the USDA as well. And just the list goes on and on and on.
I know, right?
And we work with people like you.
Absolutely. And it's always a delight to work with our local chamber. And if you're a small business owner and you've never really thought about or even understood what chamber membership could mean, you just heard a few examples of the access that you're granted as far as being a member of the Selma-Dallas County Chamber of Commerce. So now, how many members does our chamber currently have? I know you just got a few new members this past week.
Yeah, we're looking right about 300.
That's extraordinary. And
It
so
is.
for a city the size of Selma, we have
Mhm.
about 17,000 residents, lots of small businesses, and included in that, the majority of them are a part of our Chamber of Commerce. So now, what about the community? We talked about the benefits to the small businesses, but what about the benefits to the community? What does the Chamber of Commerce offer to our community?
Well, there again, for instance, we keep a community calendar on our website, and it's pretty stays pretty active. So if you're always looking for something to do, or find out something that's going on in our community, we always invite you to go out to our website, which is selmaalabama.com, and click on what's happening, and the calendar will open up. And it's not just for the month that we're in; it goes beyond. So if you're planning an event, we have people that have lived here in Selma and have moved away and they want to come back to Selma. So we give them the newcomer's guide for them to get the information. And we also help them plan their having their wedding in Selma, or they're going to have a family reunion in Selma. Who are the caterers? What is the lodging? Just assist them with different things like we need to get some printing made. We refer our chamber members first. And then if it's a resource that's not a member, we still, give them the business to see.
Now, I really want to make sure that people understand what you just said, because this again is a very important reason to be a member of the local Chamber of Commerce. So if folks are planning major events, whether it's a conference, a wedding, a family reunion, and this is something that's all across the nation, that most people are going to, event planners or what have you, are going to contact the local Chamber of Commerce. So if you're a small business owner and you want to be frequented by more people who are visiting our community, it is definitely to your advantage to be a member of the chamber, because the chamber members are the ones who are contacted, notified, connected, whatever word you want to use. The chamber members are the ones who basically have the plug to the tourists, right? You are the Chamber of Commerce serves as a conduit for folks to build relationships and to build business, right? And to make sure that people, when they come into Selma, aren't at a loss, that they know who the tour operators are, they know what restaurants are here, they know where they can stay, and things like that. So this is a great opportunity. So if you're a small business owner and you're not a member of the chamber, honey, you've been sleeping. Yes, you have. And this is the perfect time to become a Chamber of Commerce member. So now, what do you think have been some of the major achievements of the local chamber that you can recall over the last few years?
Well, one of the things that we do community wise is the Shred It Day. We have a community Shred It Day each year. We'd like to have it twice a year, but right now we are able to do it once a year. And they come for 2 hours. They park the truck in the parking lot beside us, and you drive through and we unload your goods, and it's shredded on site. So when you drive away, your goods, your important documents have been, destroyed. So
Yes.
that you don't have to worry. Another thing is Alabama Retailer of the Year. Um, we didn't bring anything home this year, but in the past we have, and
Yes.
it's a very if we, when we get nominated and accepted, it's really an honor to be recognized, because this is a statewide competition. It's not just by the size of your community. So we compete with everybody else from the beach to North Alabama, to Birmingham, and so that's been one of the big successes, because that lets people know that we're open for business, and
Hmm.
we're a thriving community. And so um, Jackie Smith at the coffee shop was our last one, and matter of fact, she's the only one that's ever brought home first place. All of our other businesses have been second and third, which we're graciously excited for that. But it was really an exciting day when we went to Birmingham, and uh, we were actually sitting up front. And I told Jackie, I said, "This is odd." I said, "I'm always sitting on the side over here instead of right up in front center." And then when we opened up the program, and I said, "Oh goodness, this is why we're up here, because look, you're number one." So
How amazing.
yeah, it was it was really exciting. But Mark Smart's been recognized, Roundtree Outdoors, Dave's Market, um, just to name a few.
Awesome. And you know what? Mrs. Jackie Smith has actually been a guest on Wealth Building Wednesday. And so to know that it was a shock to her. This is great, that we have businesses that are showing up statewide. And like you said, we're being compared to some of our major metros like
Mhm.
Mobile and Birmingham,
Mhm.
as well as smaller communities like Camden and Linden, right? So we kudos to all of our small businesses that have been recognized and brought home, whether it was gold, silver, or bronze. We congratulate you
Mhm.
on all of your success. So now, does the chamber host events or partner with organizations to host events? I kind of know the answer to this question, but I'd love
Absolutely.
for you to talk about some of
Yeah.
the great events that you all host.
Absolutely. We have a 60-minute coffee. We try to do those once a month, and it's very informative. It's letting you know what's going to happen and how it's going to affect you, or it can be something to inform you.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a business after hours. It's the third Thursday every month at downtown at the Five and Dime. AC Reeves graciously opens up her um, building there, and we always have an artist. It recognizes an artist of the month, and it's a little 2-hour social gathering, and it's just a place where people gather, and when you leave, you're smiling because you've had a great time.
Yes, and it's a great way to meet your neighbors as well.
Mm-hmm.
So whether folks are new to town or new to the business community, it's an awesome that business after hours is an awesome way to make the connections, and that's what it's all about. As a small city, we definitely want to make sure that our connections are strong and that we're networking with our neighbors to be even more successful. So now, how much does the chamber charge for its membership, and what are the benefits aside from those that you've already mentioned? What are the benefits of membership?
Well, the investment that you make is an annual investment, and it's the lowest investment, and it's based on the number of employees that you have. So if you're a small business, you might just have one. It's 1 to 5 employees. It's $165 annually. And what you get when you join the chamber is you get about $800+ worth of free advertising through the Selma
Mhm.
Times Journal and 2 radio stations that we have here in Selma that broadcast not just in Selma-Dallas County, but in the surrounding areas of the Black Belt.
Okay.
And we send out a weekly email with things that's going on in the community and with information that you need to know
Right.
as well.
And so I do want to just quickly highlight the fact that this annual investment, which is less than $200 for small businesses, folks with less than 5 employees, it's an important opportunity because, as she expressed, with the emails, so that if you want to know what's happening in our community, the Chamber of Commerce has her, like Miss Smedley has her finger on the pulse of the community. So if you want to know what's happening, it's important to be a member so that you receive those emails. Who's hiring, what workshops are available and coming up, because not only do Troy and University of Alabama contribute as far as some discounts, they actually come into our community and
Mm-hmm.
conduct workshops. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really, really important that if you're a small business owner who wants to learn as you grow, this is a great way for you to do that and to make an annual investment. You said $165
Mm-hmm.
for
Yes.
a small business that has 1 to 5 employees. That's not bad. And you also have individual memberships, correct?
Yes, we certainly do. We have, if you're an individual, we welcome you to come. It's as low as $75.
And now, what better bang for your buck, right? Because then again, making sure that you have access to what's happening in our community. And as a chamber member, listen, I'm going to harp on this thing again. When people call into our community and they want to plan conferences, they want to plan family reunions, they want to plan weddings, the place they're going to call is the Chamber of Commerce. And if you're a member, you're going to be up first as far as the resources that people who are connected to. Even folks who are planning things from within our city depend on the Selma-Dallas County Chamber of Commerce for the information that is housed with the members, right? And the information that's housed within this organization. So this is an important opportunity. So if you have 1 to 5 employees in your small business. That means if you are a committee of one, you are an owner in business of one, then your membership is just $165, and you get what, 8 times that of return
Mhm.
in making sure that you are well advertised and that you become a part of the community in a grander way, because of that membership. So now our community, as with all communities across this country, and around the world, in fact, has gone through a lot, in the last 2 years. Our business community has faced some challenges. And so I wanted to kind of just talk to you about some of the major challenges, that you've been able to help small businesses overcome recently, whether that is helping them to get started or helping them to grow. What are some of the major challenges that you've seen come through your office and that you've been able to address, at the chamber?
Well, when COVID hit, it just threw everybody for, just changed our world.
Mhm.
And so, what we're actually dealing with right now, Lydia, is our workforce.
Ah,
We used to have a folder that we kept in a central location when people would drop their resume off and say, if you know anybody that's looking for help, here's my resume. And so we would have a file. And so when somebody called, we would refer them, to that employer. Well, we don't have that anymore, and we haven't had it in since all this change.
oh
And
wow.
so it's not a day that goes by that they're looking for help. Everybody in the community is looking for help, especially the hospitality and food service industry.
And so, what do you think has contributed to that? Are people just staying home because they're afraid of COVID transmission? I know that there are some who suspect, and I can kind of understand that, because of all of the payments that went out, there's some folks who are just opting,
Mhm.
to stay at home. Is it the pay? Like, what do you think is contributing, to the lack of folks wanting to engage with the workforce?
I honestly, I wish if I had that answer, I think I'd be a hero. I really, I don't know what it is. I think it's not just one. I think it's several things. But
Mm,
now more than ever, people are offering benefit packages.
mhm.
Sign-ons to come, a bonus to sign to come to work. They're doing everything they can to recruit people to come to work. So I don't know.
Well, I do want to encourage folks. So even if you are just starting out and you say have a business that requires people to be on the front line, and you can't necessarily be the person that's in that store or in that restaurant every day, consider yourself and what you would need as an employee, um, to make the workday better. Um,
Yeah.
doesn't mean everything is not necessarily built into the hourly pay. But some of the research that I've done over the years definitely indicates that the work environment is actually what causes people to leave. And that was prior to COVID,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
when we're thinking post COVID, right? Yes, wages are important, but what environment? How are employees treated? Is there a lack of respect, or is there, extraordinary respect? Are we understanding? Do we get to know our employees and know that, hey, these folks have families, these people have children, right? That they may need to care for, and all of those things. So it's important to think about the needs of employees, right? I'm an employee, so, and I'm grateful to have, supervisors who are, um, considerate, right? They consider the fact that, there's a child here. Lydia doesn't just come with Lydia. Lydia comes with a child. Lydia comes with a mom. There are folks that she's caring for, and okay, let's make sure that this is a work environment that is workable, right? So everything is not, wrapped up into the amount on the paycheck. Satisfaction on the job is really, really, really critical. So we have talked about, Some of the major challenges, one of them is bringing folks back into the workforce, and helping them to stay there. Um, what about tourism? Because Selma, man, and this is where we connect the most, is in regards to things related to tourism. Where are we with tourism? Like, how does the chamber impact tourism? Because tourists are in our city every single day and across our region every single day. So, how does the chamber impact tourism?
Well, that's another thing that we do here, another tourism, and it's very busy. Um, we've had we have travel writers from the UK that are here right now. They're going around and interviewing and exploring our city to write an article for a magazine over there next year. We have we are we need to increase our infrastructure.
Okay.
We have folks that call here that want to bring a 400 conference to our city, and we
Mm-hmm.
can't accommodate them because we do not have the facilities to do that. So they have to, we lose them over to Montgomery, but they
Mm-hmm.
end up coming over to Selma because you can't stay in Montgomery and not see Selma, and vice versa. And we have a good relationship with the tourism department over in Montgomery. Ron just went blank. What's Ron Simmons. We work real close together. His staff and I, and our other partner that we work real close with is the State Tourism Office. We have a sales marketing director, Rosemary Junkins, and Andy Martin and Graham.
Mm-hmm.
We all they're always looking out for Selma, Alabama, and the tours buses that are coming through here. We don't know all of them that come through here. We would like to, but that's not possible. Same thing that they experience the same thing over in Montgomery. But we get a report from the state every May.
Mm-hmm.
So for Selma and Dallas County, they don't, this is a guesstimate with a formula that they give us because they don't do small communities when they count how many visitors. So for 2021 in Dallas County, we had over 80,000 visitors, 80,295 visitors come through.
Wow.
That was last year. And now that COVID's gone, it should be a lot more. We're hopefully it will be over 100,000. But we know there's more than that comes to see Selma.
Absolutely. I just want to encourage people and help them to know that this is just what people can count, right? This does not include the families who Google their way through a family vacation. This doesn't include, like you said, the tour buses that stop and aren't necessarily contacting anyone, but they're, other than the person, maybe the tour guide that they've hired or what have you. So it's important to know that Selma is on the map. We are literally one of the reasons why people come to Alabama. We have an iconic bridge. We have historic churches and our architecture. Oh my goodness. We have natural resources like the Alabama River. We excellent birding opportunities. The list goes on and on. Hunting around Dallas County is extraordinary. So we are a tourism hub.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to embrace that thing though, and get more people in the community engaged in this opportunity. And we definitely want to encourage anyone who is looking to invest. So if Hilton is interested in a larger hotel than our boutique hotel we have here, or if Wind Creek or where some Wind hotels, they have large hotels. Look, like I'm just thinking of the brands, right? Like if you are interested in coming to our city so that we can host conferences, because think about the economic opportunity
Mm-hmm.
that could be there if we had a huge conference center like what Montgomery and Birmingham have to
Mm-hmm.
offer, and to have all of these things at our fingertips would be amazing. So on average, you said that we get about last year we had about some over 80,000 tourists
Mm-hmm.
visit. So based on your experience, want to kind of talk about people and helping folks to engage in businesses or start businesses that are related to tourism. So what, in your experience, what recommendations would you have for people who are looking to start their own business or make investments in the city of Selma? What recommendations would you have?
Well, I would strongly suggest that you have a plan. You know, take that idea or dream that you have, and really give it some thought, because I mean you're making an investment not only into the community, but you're making your own self an investment, and you need to know, you know, I'd like I for instance, somebody was going to open up a daycare. I said, do you know how many daycares are in Selma-Dallas County? No, ma'am. Those are the kind of questions you got to ask yourself before you um, go just open the doors. And there is a lot of starting up a business, as you very well know. You got to have insurance, you have to pay taxes every month, and there is just a lot of planning. And that's where, like, working with the small business network with the University of Alabama, we have a representative that will come to Selma, sit down with you and look at your plan, and guide you through the process.
Yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that resource. Last week we actually had Andrea Price Mosley from the Alabama State Small Business Development Center. They have a program over there offering 2 years, and it's too late to sign up. So if you missed last week's Wealth Building Wednesday, oh well, look. But it's too late to sign up for this cohort, but they will have another cohort in January of 2023. She was on last week to talk about the GoDaddy partnership that they have, and offering small business owners the opportunity to have 2 years of free web hosting, as well as 6 weeks of instruction related to web presence and online sales and things like that, and marketing yourself online. So I'm so glad that you brought that up, because the University of Alabama Small Business Development Center is actually the SBDC that services Dallas County. So to know that we can literally reach out to Sheryl Smedley at the Selma-Dallas County Chamber of Commerce, and she can connect us to the
Mm-hmm.
Small Business Development Center at the University of Alabama, and those representatives can come here. Like, a person will come from Tuscaloosa to work with us one-on-one. Y'all, there are really no excuses that we have in this moment, and these folks are free. These are services that are funded through the federal government. The Small Business Administration funds small business development centers across this country. There are thousands of them. And they are usually connected to universities. And so we have a wealth of resources, right? And then you have folks who can pour into you and give you ideas, help to guide you along the way of assessing, because see, they may come with expert information, business in general, but then you have local experts like Mrs. Smedley who can say, okay, ask you the critical questions. Well, do you know how many daycares are located in Selma? Do you know how many restaurants are located in Selma? What are the top restaurants in Selma? What items do they serve? Is that, those are the considerations that we have to make, if we're going to make sound investments as far as becoming small business owners, and making sure that we're investing smartly in our community. And I know some folks across the Black Belt are watching. Well, this is all focused on Selma, but truth be told, this information is applicable anywhere, right? No matter where you are, if you're in the Black Belt of Alabama, if you're in the Delta of Mississippi, right? You can be in Los Angeles, California, and the rules still apply. So research and having a plan are two keys to making sure that we have a long and successful small business lifespan. So again, if you don't mind, Mrs. Smedley, before we wrap up, if you don't mind sharing information of how people can get in touch with you, and how folks can find their way to a membership with the Selma-Dallas County Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, so we're located at 912 Selma Avenue. We sit on the corner of Selma and Lauderdale, and the courthouse is behind us. Our phone number is 334-875-7241. And you can always email us at info@selmaalabama.com. And we'll, sorry about that.
Somebody's calling you now.
And we'll be glad to help you.
Awesome.
Any questions? Hey, look, we answer to anything. We try. We don't say no. We say we'll get you that resource. We'll find you the answer.
Awesome. So I do again want to thank you. If you are looking for help starting your small business or looking for a way to expand, Mrs. Smedley can help you identify if you are looking for a commercial space. She can help you walk through those processes. So her number again is area code 334-875-7241. And if you are going to email her, you can email at info@Selma, Alabama, and spell that all the way out, SELMAALABAMA.com. Okay. And so this has been an awesome opportunity. If someone wants to join the Chamber of Commerce, how do we do that?
We have a membership guide and application. It's real simple. You just fill that out and get it back to us, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. So if you are in or about Selma, Alabama, and you visit 912 Selma Avenue, right on the corner of Selma Avenue and Lauderdale,
Mm-hmm.
stop by. There's something special you need to know about that building as well. And we'll talk about that with Mrs. Smedley the next time she's on, because that's actually a very historic building in and of itself that
Mm-hmm.
she's located in. So maybe you can find out, do a little research on Selma. But if you're not going to do that research, we're going to tell you next time she's on. But yeah, that's a really special building for our community. So thank you so much, Mrs. Smedley, for joining us for this edition of Wealth Building Wednesday.
Thank you for having me. Enjoyed it.
Absolutely. So, want to encourage each and every one of you all who have tuned in to tune in every single Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. We spend 30 minutes with an expert in their field. Today, we talked to Mrs. Sheryl Smedley, the Executive Director of the Selma-Dallas County Chamber of Commerce. We want to thank you for tuning in to TRHT Selma's. That's Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation here in Selma. This Wealth Building Wednesday is an initiative sponsored by TRHT Selma, and we are a collaboration between the Selma Center for Nonviolence and the Black Belt Community Foundation. We thank you so much for tuning in, and until next Wednesday, let's get out here and start building this wealth. See you next week.